Welcome to another edition of Tyrone Paulson Drives, where today I get to spend some time with, well, an award winner that is both good looking, Lani, but doesn't shrug off a dirty challenge. This is the Ford Everest Platinum, and alongside its siblings, it won the South African Car of the Year award for the Best Adventure SUV for 2023. Now, I have to admit something from the start, that I have been, up until recently, been driving an Everest XLT as my daily driver. So I kind of know these cars really inside and out. So let me first start off by saying the obvious differences between the XLT and the Platinum, because the XLT is the entry level. Now, the one that I drove was the 4x4 version of that car, and this one is the top of the range Platinum. Now that XLT, it retails it at just about 849,000 Rand. It has a 2-liter bi-turbo diesel engine producing 154 kilowatts and 500 Newton meters of torque. The Everest Platinum right here next to me, well, it makes use of a 3-liter V6 engine with full-time 4-wheel drive and produces 184 kilowatts and 600 Newton meters of torque. And this one retails at 1,180,000 Rand. Now both of these cars at the same towing capacity of 3.5 tons and shares a lot of other bits as well. Now I know the question that you might have is the Platinum worth the almost 118,000 Rand more? And the answer is simply, well, yes, as the Platinum has many differences, which is not just aesthetic. Now, the engine is the most obvious part, seeing that it is a 3-liter V6 power plant, and it's also shared inside of the Wildtrak. Now, this car has full-time 4-wheel drive with a terrain management system, meaning that the car will automatically decide how to best deliver its power to its 21-inch wheels, which is standard on the Platinum, by the way. So that you can drive it in 4 high, 4 low, if you want to do it manually, or even in rear-wheel drive mode. By the way, the XLT only gets 18-inch wheels. There are loads and loads of chrome bits all over the vehicle, with the name Platinum emblazoned over the front and also over the rear as well. And in all honesty, it gives it that bit more of a premium kind of look to it. There's a 360-degree camera, which is quite awesome to use, and it also has some epic puddle lights and a whole bunch of things. It just kind of gives the car that extra bit of, coolness. And let's be quite honest, even in every trim level, the Everest looks amazing because it's reminiscent of what a big SUV is supposed to look like. You know, like those ones that's in some epic movie where there's some government agency driving these big SUVs? Well, they all look like that. Or even in some cool hip-hop gangster rap video. So you can get your Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre on. Yeah.
And now back to your regularly scheduled program.
Now, on the inside, overall, the Everest, in every single version of it, it looks really good. Even in the XLT, if you compare it to a lot of its competitors' more expensive versions, it looks a lot better in it. But I have to say, the thing that kind of steals the show has got to be this portrait-style screen, which again is standard across the entire ranges as well. It adds that extra wow factor to this, and it's a very simple system to use. It's easy, and it's got shortcut buttons over here. It has USB-A/C charging points for your phone, both here and in the back, and then it's got wireless charging as well as wireless Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. Not like the system is, difficult, but you end up just going that route. The cool thing is this car's GPS system, just the mapping, it looks really good, especially in 3D mode. It even shows off what some of the buildings look like, so it's very cool. You should use it. In front of you got a driver's display, but in this car you get a 12-inch size screen, which you only get an 8-inch in the other versions, which I really wish was available in all the other cars as well. Now, the Platinum has got a whole bunch of extra soft touch materials in very cool places, especially the places you need to touch. And it's got white contrast stitching like here, and it gives it that extra premium Platinum kind of feel. And talking about Platinum, it has the name on the front here. It's got it on the mats. It's got it basically everywhere, and it just tells you that you've got the Platinum version of it, and it actually looks really good. And then there's this Bang & Olufsen sound system. OMG, it is banging. Get it? Banging. Yeah, Bang & Olufsen. There's a dad kind of reference there. Okay, I think I should stop. Talking about nice things to have, it definitely has to be these seats. They are leather and they've got this quilted kind of effect to it. And there's these tiny little holes on. Why? Because it's heated and cooled as well. It has got memory functions and it is super adjustable. Talking about heated, it's not just heated in the front. It's even heated in the second row. So in the second row, it's got that heated seat as well. And it's also very comfortable in here. It's got an armrest, and you can easily sit 3 people if this is up, by the way. It's got cup holders in here. So on the armrest, it's never going to get in, well, your way in any specific way. It's got USB-C and USB-A charging points. You've got your own aircon control, which is great. And you also have a 230 volt or 400 watt max 400 watt inverter built in, so you can plug in things like your laptop and other things that you need to charge. Talking about the aircon, the vents is up here, which means it blows directly onto you and it's nothing down here. So it's a very comfortable place to be in here. I mean, enough leg room for me, even with my short legs. And if it is a bit forward, you with people in the third row, which there is, by the way, you can move this forward and backwards. The seats recline as well. And with the sunroof, it just creates that element of extra space as well. The black roof lining gives it that extra bit of premium feel. So overall, this is a very comfortable place to be. Let's check out the third row. The third row seats can be used by grown-ups, albeit for shorter journeys, but you could kind of do it, it's fine, because there's enough leg room here in the front. And the cool part is because you can move these seats in front of me, forward and backwards, to give you a little bit more leg room as well. What are very cool about these seats is they are electronically controlled, so you don't need to push and pull to get seats up. You press a button, it folds up and it folds down. But the standard system in here, the pull and push function, is a lot easier than a lot of other 7-seaters that are out there. There are air vent controls up here, again directly blowing onto the people here at the back. It's got cup holders. So this is very cool, man. You can easily have people have a comfortable journey and a comfortable ride. Kids, though, would love it. Because, you know, as a kid, we all always wanted to sit in the boot. Why? I don't know. And continue today, even my nieces and nephews, all they wanted to do was sit in the boot. So it's a perfect seating for kids if you need it. Sometimes we even found that we didn't need it, but they still wanted to sit in the back. Let's see if I can get out of here. Because the last one I tried this in, it wasn't so comfortable. Let's see. Okay. Not so bad after all. I'm out. And I didn't pull a hamstring. Yet. The boot space is at a welcome 800 plus liter capacity, meaning more place to pack stuff. FYI, don't tell anyone, but I had a whole wooden vending cart in here with all the seats flipped down. Like with all the Everest, is electronically opened and can do so with a trailer attached. Driving in every one of these cars is quite intimidating at first because of its size, but you do quickly get used to it and realize how comfortable and smooth it is. In both engine derivatives, the 2-liter and the V6, the gearbox is, well, I hate saying this word, just smooth. And power delivery is really decent. However, in the Platinum and the Wildtrak, with its V6 engine, it just feels a lot more linear and a lot more refined. Yeah, fuel consumption goes up if you drive the V6, but I mean, the 2-liter, for example, is claimed at 7.5 liters per 100 kilometers, but it's more closer to 10, where this one is 8.5 liters claimed. But in actual fact, it has 11 to 12 liters per 100 kilometers. And for a car this size, I think it's actually really good. And also, unlike a lot of other bucky-based SUVs, this doesn't feel unsteady and top-heavy, especially at high speeds or when even cornering. Ford has done some sort of magic on the suspension, and it gives you, you know, that confidence when doing both shorter, longer, and off-roady kind of journeys. It gives you that whole feel. I do prefer the V6 over the 2-liter biturbo though, not just because of the power, but it's because of just that sound and well, actually the power. But overall, it delivers just a kind of more stable kind of feel to it. I don't know if that makes any sense. Now, the Platinum, it has additional safety features. For example, it's got an off-road camera, which goes on when you go off-road, and it will show you the perfect track, where to place your car, the whole deal. It just gives you that extra little bit of confidence again. All the Everest have lane keeping assist, and it even does a thing where it detects soft verges on gravel roads, which is quite clever. Then you can extend your blind spot monitoring to the rear if you've got a trailer on. So if you've got a trailer and it's much longer, it'll pick it up. It's got oncoming traffic alert, front and rear collision mitigation, and many other, standard features which come with this car, which are really, really good. In the Platinum, you get things like, for example, adaptive cruise control. So you set the speed and the car does the rest. So with all of that, I do think that this car deservedly needs to get that adventure SUV of the year in the SA Car of the Awards thing. It deservedly gets it because it delivers in every aspect and even in every trim level. So you won't be wrong. For example, when we were recently, Cape Town had those floods. We were in the Boland area in Cape Town, and there were mud and water and things absolutely everywhere. And this car was the car that we used for our family to cart everybody around into places where we couldn't walk or couldn't drive to. And it made me feel like a hero every single time when I drove it and, just carting people around. Even though the car did all the work, but it just shows you the confidence that it will give you. And that car was a 4x2. A lot of the other 4x4s got stuck. That 4x2 just kept on going and everybody was comfortable. Also, I got to tell you about this specific car that I'm driving. It's got about almost 25,000 kilometers on it. It's probably got about 200 Ks to go or less. But this car, I remember, because for some reason I remember number plates, was a car that we used on a journey for the launch of the Rangers, the Rangers single cab and super cabs. And we drove these cars all the way from OR Tambo to Gqeberha and then back again. And it was through mountainous passes and ravines and dongas and potholes that would scare the living daylights out of you. And 25,000 kilometers later, there's no creaks and noises and things that are weird on this car at all. And it still looks as good as what it does. So, and by the way, the car's not even a year old. Almost 25,000 kilometers, and it's still this good. Yeah, that should give you, again, I'm using that word, that confidence about the new Ford Everest. So to answer your question, is the Platinum worth the extra pennies? And the answer is still yes, because you see, you get a lot of those extra luxury creature comfort and tech that is normally reserved for a lot more premium other SUVs, but you can, like I did, live without them and still have the same adventurous, go anywhere confidence in any one of the other Everest models. But if you're in this one, you'll feel platinum. Yeah, you see what I did there, because it says platinum on the front there, it's platinum, you'll feel platinum. Okay, thanks for watching.